Hey guys, Czar here. Good morning to you. Hope all is well. Trust you're having a good morning so far. It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday, August 27th. In the pre-market, we're about a minute away, just less than a minute away now from the New York Open. Three sisters, NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow. 1 minute charts with volume-weighted average price in the middle. 2.5 standard deviation bands on either side. And this is the daily frame, guys. NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow, again, three sisters, but this time daily charts. You can see that we have pulled back into key resistance here over the last couple of weeks or so, and now rolling over, faltering and fading a little bit here. We've also now, overnight, broken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, certainly 6 days, lows. And that's looking a little bit weak. We have an inside day, well, not really an inside day, but we have a weaker day here, kind of sitting in the middle of this bigger 3 or 4 day range here on the S&P. And in the Dow, a bullish body for now. You see that there, a little tiny bullish body, but also a cascading down day so far, meaning that the low is lower than yesterday's low. Bring you back now to the three sisters. You can see that we have opened on New York just barely. In fact, we're 17 seconds into the open here. Be watching. We are below VWAP for the futures trading session that began last night at 6 p.m. New York time. It is now 9:30 a.m. of course the next day. So below VWAP on all three sisters and just kind of sitting around here, not doing a whole lot, not a lot of flurry going on here on the open itself. We do have news at 10 a.m. It is high impact news, and that's in 29 minutes. That will be the consumer confidence figures for August. We are now 2 minutes into, almost, the New York session. I'm going to be cutting out dead air, sideways grinding action, non-teaching moments, things of that nature. To keep this video nice and tight, we'll focus on stuff that really matters. We'll do a lot of repetition, as you've already seen if you watch my videos. I do that on purpose, keeping that ritual, the routine, the same boring thing day in and day out. And to me, that's the only way to accomplish great things here in terms of a consistent trading practice, is to just master one method, one model, repeat it over and over again, and let the chips fall where they may. Of course, there's a lot more to it than that, but I think you're getting the idea. Dropping down now below open ranges. Here's my trading grid. See that we have again a bearish day. We had broken below yesterday's low. We are now back in yesterday's range for now, but threatening to drop even lower here. But let me just drop down to the 30-second chart here, guys, just so we can get a more surgical view of the price action. But I can't see myself doing anything here for another 27 minutes or so. Really mixed bag here. Grinding picture. Let's see what the open range looks like here on the NASDAQ. 22-point open range, very, very narrow. On the S&P, guys, the range is 3 3/4 points, not much at all. Not going to do anything here, not going to jump on anything here at all, guys. Nothing to do here, guys, just watching. Trying to get above the open range here on the NASDAQ, but below on the Dow, and inside, splitting the difference as usual on the S&P. A muted version of the two, and that's what I find to be the case a lot. You've seen me do videos on that as well. I'm going to take this zone out here, guys. In fact, I'm going to move this one up. Let me just make this larger so you can see what I'm doing here. This one, just move it over to right there for now. This zone is actually fairly important. It goes back to the New York session. You see that over here? Right there. It's actually the crossover of the New York session and the prior UK session. There's an overlap there, of course. But significant selling was stopped dead in its tracks, bang, 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 and then pushed up high. So that is buying interest. Significant buying interest in clean traffic, by the way, so that's significant. And that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days ago. 7 or 8 days ago, depending on how you want to count that, being that we are in one of those days now. But you get the idea. So that's a significant zone there to contend with in this equation as we're thinking about trade ideas here this morning, and then given the news that's coming up at 10 o'clock. So here we have obviously a break above prior 30-minute candle which is right there and here. See that there? And that was in the pre-market. But we have a very bearish picture on the daily. So that's a mixed message. And this would say, well, buy above prior candle high. This would say sell because we have broken a significant number of days here on the downside on the daily. The daily supersedes or dominates or rules over the 30. The 30 rules over the 1, and so on. So when I have mixed messages or a confused picture, I do nothing. I just sit and I wait for clarity. There's no reason to be in on something when there's nothing there to be in on. Grinding mixed picture, you can see how we are inside of the open range on all three. We are oscillating or vacillating around two tightly wound EMAs, 1, 2, and 3 on all three sisters. Watching things break down here, guys, but I want to see this broken from the pre-market, if anything. Tell you what, I'm just going to put a marker here, guys. This is not a live order yet. If it goes live, I will tell you. Notice that I'm incorporating the pre-market, which you don't see me do very often, unless I have reason to. This is a double bottom in the pre-market. See, impulse, corrective, impulse, double bottom. Break above, failure, and now failing down. That's a bearish flip. Sell stop order now, guys, and I'm in, just like that. I'm going to fix this market here in a moment, and I am in. As I mentioned, this zone is fairly important, guys, fairly powerful. So if we break through that, then we could be heading significantly lower into this clean traffic range that you see here. If we don't, then I get stopped out, and this is a charge to start the day. So why would I be taking a short into a fairly important zone? Well, because the daily tells me that I can do so. The daily was easily able to break 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full days of trading, right? No problem. And now we have the massive volume that comes in here on the crossover between London into the New York Open. And if we've now just failed to go higher and flipped to the downside and taken out, for now, taken out these two pre-market bottoms, this double bottom you see on the micro scale, then we can, but no guarantees, absolutely drop down here and hit the promised land. It is 9:41. I'd like to be out of this before the news, of course. Three sisters, guys, dropping, and was dropping on the Dow as well. Three sisters aligned, dropping below, open range, flipping EMAs, 9 below the 21, session low, which was way up here, and pre-market low from here. Very important piece of it in my mind. That's the confirmation I would need in a situation like this where we had rejected up in the pre-market and now flipping down. Still no guarantees here, guys. I will manage this dynamically if I get the opportunity, but we do have that buying coming in now. All right, guys, driving down, moving my stop to break even now, just to lock this thing in. We're about 3/4 of the way, or pretty close to it. Let's see if we can get to the promised land here together, shall we? And there it is, guys. So stopped out a break even on this one, playing it safe here, especially given that the news is coming in about 13 minutes or so, and that we are sitting on this important zone where clearly some buying is coming up here and supporting here and again here as we try to get a little bit lower. But if some of you have asked, I'm going to keep this video running. We're going to see where this trade goes from here to see if that was a resourceful decision or not to dynamically move to break even on this. In other words, will prices now drive down to the original target, or will they come all the way back to my original stop before the trade is done? I know it's kind of hindsight thinking, but a lot of you like to play that game, and I'm okay with it. So let's see how this trade works out. And there it is, guys. So prices did come back all the way to the original stop loss order. So it turns out that it was a resourceful decision in hindsight to move to break even. Now, of course, it didn't matter what happened here, whether it hit the stop or hit the profit before going to the stop. That was still a resourceful decision in my mind based on my model, given that there was a significant unit of doubt in this trade, and that was that key support zone. We did break through it. I took the trade on that, but then the quick buy up that we saw that goes back here, was it 7 or 8 days into the New York session? Clearly that buying interest in those algos are still sitting there waiting to push prices higher. That's all about the dance, guys, and playing defense. Have an amazing morning. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. We'll talk soon.